again, welcome. North Korea is in the news these days, and to talk about the situation obtaining on the Korean peninsula, I am now joined by Ambassador Kye Chun Yong of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Welcome to WION, Ambassador.
Good morning.
If I can just begin by asking you, how would you describe the current relations, bilateral ties between DPRK and India, and specifically, how would you view policies of Prime Minister Modi?
First of all, thank you very much for your kindly invitation so that I can convey the warmest and friendly greetings to the friendly feeling in the name of the Korean, my government, and through the famous channel WION, which is enjoying very good popularity among the Indian people and the other countries. You know, you can say the democratic peoples, the relations between the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and India is very good, and we are very proudly saying so far more than half centuries we have developed very good and then friendly cooperative relations. Both countries are the members of the non-island movement, and then both are the Asian countries, and there are so many common things between our countries. Historically speaking, our two countries is liberated from colonialism. DPR Korea is from Japan, India, in the UK. Accidentally, the month and date of independence is the same, the 15th of August. Of course, the year a little different. In case of DPR Korea, it's 1945. In India, 1947, as far as I know. But the month is date of independence same. That's why both countries the same day is celebrating the Independence Day. It's not so much important. But actually, our two countries have diplomatic relations officially established in 1973. It means more than 44 years. During that time, the very good relations have developed politically, economically, and culturally. And then my government regards the bilateral relations with India is very important. Why? India is a regionally big power and a very populous country. India is one of the member of the founder NAM, is played a very important role representing the third world countries so far. So far, that's why my government all the time is supported the Indian government. So especially, we honestly want India should be surely the permanent member of the UNSC, UN Security Council. UN is founded in 1945. During that time, 70 years ago founded, but the world much changed. But the UN system is not changed. So the UN system also should be changed according to the changed world now. But under the UN sanctions, our dream much limited. So if the UN sanctions should be quickly withdrawn, and then we have got find a lot of great possibilities and potentiality to further develop the bilateral relations.
Right.
So lastly, I'd like to say the India government now is the appeal, the Make in India. It is proposed by Modi, I think. So the Make in India is policy, very important policy. If we interpreting our own way, it's a self-reliance policy.
Right.
So I sincerely wish the Indian government and people to achieve the great success under the slogan of the Baker in India. Thank you very much.
Right. Ambassador, you mentioned about the UN sanctions on DPR Korea. Now, talking about the nuclear issue in particular, what is Pyongyang's take on the narrative, as it were, that is portrayed or covered by the Western media and Western countries, especially on the issue of the nuclear situation obtaining on the Korean Peninsula?
You know, the nuclear issue is the main topic in the world, I think. You know, Korea is a small country. Total territory only 220,000 square kilometers. Logically thinking, as a small country, Korea has not possessing such dangerous, mass destructive weapons. But DPR Korea's possessing of the nuclear weapons is inevitable, very arduous choice to defend the right of existence. You know, as you know, Korea is occupied by America in 1945. More than 70 years, all the time, DPR Korea is threatened by America nuclear attack. Actually, America deployed nuclear weapons in South Korea in 1957. After that, more than 1,000 nuclear weapons. South Korea is less than 100,000 square kilometers. So the density of nuclear weapons is the highest in the world. All the time they are threatening with nuclear weapons. Even now, this moment, there are so many nuclear strategic, the military, the hardware, nuclear submarine, and then nuclear, you know, the aircraft carriers, the nuclear strategic bomb, B-1B, and the all-time aiming. And then annually they are, you know, the staging the military, big-scale military exercise. One time, 100,000 American army and the South Korean army mobilized. Very, very big scale, annually, annual functions. They are so-called defensive. You know, Korea is a small country, so that's why we cannot but take the arduous choice, inevitable choice to possessing the nuclear weapons as a deterrent force to prevent another Korean War. Another Korean War means nuclear war. If the nuclear war happened in the Korean Peninsula, it's really fratricidal war. So at any cost, we should prevent another Korean War. So now, just as a deterrent force, we took the nuclear weapon choose the nuclear weapons. So the nuclear weapons itself should be dismantled over the world scale. The DPR Korea is the first country to proposed to denuclearize Korean Peninsula. At first, we strongly, the support denuclearization of Korean Peninsula, but we failed. That's why second stage, how to cope with the gangsters armed with nuclear weapons with the stick. That's why correspondingly we took the possess the nuclear weapons to prevent another nuclear war in the Korean Peninsula.
Ambassador, you spoke about the nuclear deterrence on the one hand and your in-principle agreement to denuclearize the Korean Peninsula. Now, the US, for instance, is asking you, Pyongyang, to denuclearize, and the US ally in the region, South Korea, the Republic of Korea, is also asking or saying that if North Korea, DPRK, were to freeze its nuclear weapons program and to stop its nuclear and missile tests, then it can scale back its military exercises with the US and not deploy more strategic weapons on the peninsula. So are you in agreement with the ROK when it says that, if you freeze the nuclear weapons program, they can think of other conciliatory measures?
Yes, thank you. The nuclear denuclearization issue is very important. Then, according to our experience, only Korean Peninsula in the land inside the land, denuclearization is not so much meaningful, because the America, there are so many targeting means from the aircraft, from the submarine, and then they deployed a lot of nuclear weapons around the Korean Peninsula, in Japan and Guam and some small islands belong to America. So they very easily target. So our the demand? Let's talk, denuclearize Korean Peninsula, also the other places.
So when you say talk, is DPR Korea willing to freeze its nuclear program?
Yeah, under the certain circumstances, we are willing to talk in terms of the freezing the nuclear testing or missile testing. For instance, America side completely stopped the big, large-scale military exercise, stop temporarily or permanently. Then we are also temporarily stopped. Let's talk about how to solve the Korean issue peacefully.
Pyongyang had recently announced that the intercontinental ballistic missile, the ICBM, is ready for launch, and you could test it anytime soon. So under the the talks that are happening behind the scenes, as it were, between the US and China, is Pyongyang willing to stop its missile testing to accommodate the US and its allies' concerns?
America continuously threatening. Of course, America President Trump said there are so many options, including the military way. So we should be ready, both of them, dialogue and then military way. So in certain circumstances, our demands is met, we can negotiate in terms of the moratorium of such weapons testing.
So, if I understood you correctly, Ambassador, you were saying that DPR Korea is open to the idea of a moratorium on nuclear and missile tests.
Yes.
And are you also open to the idea of talks with the US anytime, anywhere?
Yes, anytime, but without any precondition.
What do you mean by that?
It means you first declare the cancel, the withdraw the missile program or nuclear program. You cancel, declare openly, officially. After that, we are ready to go to the table. In that case, unacceptable. Without any condition, we are freely talking first. How to find out to solve the Korean issue.
And Ambassador, what about the inter-Korean dialogue? I mean, we've seen the Berlin Wall come down. What about the reunification of DPR Korea and ROK? Is reunification also on your agenda, a priority for that matter?
Yeah, it's very important. The Korean is divided into North and South in 1945 by outside forces. That's why Korean issue should be solved through the dialogue, inter-Korean dialogue, without relying on the outside forces. The Korean issue, reunification issue can't be solved, surely. That's why we are very encouraging the intercontinental dialogue. Hopefully waiting. Now is South Korean government to change. So we are waiting.
And Ambassador, when you look at the world map and you see countries around the world, the US and its allies, if I were to ask you, who does DPR Korea consider as its ally, main ally or friend, when you look at the world map today? Which are those countries you would consider as your ally or friend?
There are so many friends.
Would China,
airline. No. We are never joined any bloc.
Would China qualify for a friend or an ally?
Yeah, they are friends. They are friends. And then India also our friend. There are so many third world countries supporting and understanding our position.
And Ambassador, recently we saw a report coming out of the US where North Korean diplomats were mistreated, allegedly mistreated at the New York airport. What is the latest you're hearing on that issue?
Very surprising news I heard. So the New York is headquarters of UN, and then that place should be more democratized. Everything should be they guarantee free action. And then how they deprive the diplomatic bag from the diplomats is never imagined. So it should be condemned by other countries also.
And Ambassador, very quickly, are we also looking at basketball diplomacy between DPR Korea and the US? Because we are given to understand that basketball player Dennis Rodman has just been to Pyongyang on his 5th visit. So what can we expect going forward?
It will be, of course, he's not a politician, but such a, even the sportsman and other common people is traveling, and then it's very helpful to get better understanding about our country, I think.
On that note, Ambassador, thank you so much for speaking to WION. You were listening to the Ambassador of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea talk about the past, present and future trajectory of DPR Korea's relations with India and the world. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.